Billionaire Ray Dalio has finally capitulated on Bitcoin. That's right, the founder of the world's largest hedge fund with a lazy $196 billion of assets under management has come out and said the following. He's predicting a global debt crisis, and he's finally officially endorsed Bitcoin alongside digital gold. So I wanted to quickly take you guys down memory lane and remind you guys of Ray Dalio's takes on Bitcoin over the years by playing a short little clip from Rustin over at Simply Bitcoin. Let's hope the audio works on this.
Cash is trash. I think that you have to have a certain amount of gold in your portfolio, or you have to have something that's hard.
I think we're entering an era where there's going to be a competition of monies because of the printing of fiat money, and Bitcoin is part of that competition. But there'll be many monies, not just crypto monies. There'll be central bank crypto monies.
I think it's been, quite amazing that for 12 years it's accomplished it. But I think it has no relation to anything. People are going to start to say, where is my safe storehold of wealth? And so I think the question over the next number of years is really, what is money, not just as a medium of exchange, but a storehold of wealth?
Man, Ray was...
All right, so what do you guys think about the pivots we've seen from Ray Dalio on Bitcoin over the years? But again, I want to remind you guys, this is monumental for multiple reasons. Yes, we do have the world's largest hedge fund finally capitulating on Bitcoin, but this is all because of the chart I'm going to put up on screen right here. This chart is looking at the 25 largest hedge funds all around the world. And we could see that earlier this year, Bridgewater Associates, number 2 on this list, had not yet owned a Bitcoin ETF. But have a look at the other names here with a big green word yes sitting right next to them. 16 of the world's largest 25 hedge funds have bought some Bitcoin ETF exposure this year. Now, what's happened to the price of Bitcoin this year? I'm glad you guys asked, because I know I've got a chart sitting around here somewhere of the price of Bitcoin, because I know yesterday on a live stream, we showed you guys that Bitcoin has been the best performing asset of 2023 and 2024. Now, this is interesting to note because it is this competitive FOMO that has lit a fire under the ass of billionaire Ray Dalio. Okay, because again, if 16 of the world's largest hedge funds, top 25 largest hedge funds, own Bitcoin, and Bitcoin does what it's done right here on the chart over here, that means that Chinese loving Ray Dalio has to adopt Bitcoin. This has been the thesis here on the channel for a long time, guys. As soon as Michael Saylor joined the party, we were very loud and very proud from 2020, screaming from the rooftop saying, this is it. It's all over. All of the billionaires, all of the nation states, all of the public corporations, all of the pension funds, all of the hedge funds, all of the sovereign wealth funds, they're all going to have to adopt Bitcoin if, key assumption here, if the price of Bitcoin continues to increase, because it's competitive FOMO. Okay, and we've said for a very long time, this will eventually break all of your models to the upside. This is going to be what creates super cycles. This is going to be this competitive FOMO amongst the big boys who matter. This FOMO is going to be the thing that breaks the hearts of everybody's favorite Italian. This is going to be the thing that breaks the power law model. Again, shout out to Giovanni, doing great work, but sorry, Gio, but I disagree with your model. Because of this competitive FOMO, because of this billionaire FOMO, please, for the love of God, do not sell your Bitcoin at $200,000 because a model says so. A model using faulty data from era 1 of Bitcoin. Again, era 1 for the first 12 years of Bitcoin's life, that should be ignored. This data should not be extrapolated forwards into the future. We were living in a different era. We didn't have billionaires like all of these hedge funds FOMOing into Bitcoin in era 1 of Bitcoin's life. We were living in an environment and an era where the number of Bitcoin on exchanges only grew because nobody understood what it was. We saw no public corporations, sovereign wealth funds, nation states. We saw none of these big boys interested in Bitcoin. And these are the only guys who matter. Again, before 2020, I've been of the strong opinion for a long time. That was era one of Bitcoin. 99.9% of the trading volume from 2008 to 2020 was retail money. How much of that $900 trillion total addressable market cap that Bitcoin has, the world's wealth, how much of the world's wealth does retail money control and impact? Less than 2%. They don't matter. The masses do not matter for hyper-Bitcoinization. The people who matter for hyper-Bitcoinization, they're the hedge fund market. The market with 15,000 hedge funds that control $5 trillion of wealth. It's these guys here. These guys matter far more for hyper-Bitcoinization than the masses do. Again, no shade on the masses. I'm the masses. I'm just a retail pleb stacking sats, okay? At the end of the day, I do not matter. Nobody gives a shit about my small Bitcoin stack, okay? Again, never tell anyone how much Bitcoin you own. But I can tell you one thing. I can guarantee you one thing. I don't matter at all. I don't make a splash in Michael Saylor's pond. Okay, it's as simple as that. And I strongly believe that now that we have all of these hedge funds FOMOing into Bitcoin, $5 trillion market, FOMOing into Bitcoin, these are the guys who matter. Sovereign wealth funds, they're the guys who matter. What about the world's largest asset managers? The guys who control, what, a lazy $50 trillion? Those guys matter. BlackRock, Vanguard. We have another report that I want to show you guys from another huge asset manager, Van Eck. Maybe tomorrow. I may or may not be on flight to Madrid tomorrow. Well, I will be on a flight, but I may or may not have time to rip a live stream on that topic for you guys tomorrow. You might have to wait until Tuesday. But again, these are the guys who matter. BlackRock, Van Eck, Fidelity. How many of the world's 10 largest asset managers are out there spruiking Bitcoin? More than half. Again, this is the adoption that matters. We talked about this in an earlier video, maybe a couple of weeks ago. We have right now over 60% of the world's hedge funds balls deep on Bitcoin. Here's a new chart I haven't showed you guys before. I do like to find as many new charts as possible for you guys. We can see 13. This is a little bit slightly outdated, the chart. We do actually know that 17 of the world's largest hedge funds now own Bitcoin. But I want to show you this one because it's given us a new perspective. 11 out of the world's largest 25 RIAs own spot Bitcoin ETFs. We can also see, let's have a look at the size of these institutional asset allocators. Sorry, I'm twisting my words. It's 4:30 and I haven't had breakfast. But we can see, this is another new chart. It's ranking the size of these individuals and the size of their Bitcoin investments. So we're only looking at investments larger than $1 billion. So these are big investments, really big investments. Okay, we can see pension funds. There's one pension fund that's bought a lazy 163 million, 85 hedge funds. Now, again, the number of hedge funds is something I want to talk about. I do want to talk about Ray and just how big his hedge fund is in a moment here. But I want to show you guys an article that we've looked at previously here on the channel. Okay, let me see if I can find that article because that's a good one. It's talking about not how many of the world's largest hedge funds own Bitcoin, but it's looking at the average of the 15,000 hedge funds own Bitcoin. Okay, again, I do think it's fascinating that RIAs and now pension funds are getting interested in Bitcoin. I do think it's very interesting that pension funds are FOMOing into Bitcoin. They control trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars worth of money. Before I show you that article, that we're going to be showing you guys relating to the hedge fund market. Again, quick little shout out. This is a new shout out, but I do believe that behind fiat money, one of the biggest scams in our society is probably, big pharma. And let's call it the food industry. I'm going to be careful what I say. Again, I personally just think those industries are a scam. I'm not making any bold allegations or any claims, but I do believe that those industries should not be trusted. Like the life insurance industry. I do believe that life insurance is a massive scam. I think they're ripping you guys off. So many of these life insurance companies have no business charging you the rates that you guys are getting charged, which is why I'm thrilled to be telling you guys about a new show sponsor, and that is a Bitcoin-backed life insurance company. You might have heard of them before, called Crowd Health. So again, if you are in the industry of looking for, a Bitcoin-related life insurance company, you guys can actually get a massive discount if you use promo code GREENCANDLE. It's going to get you guys 3 months of life insurance for 99 big ones. It's a massive discount. And again, you're going to learn a lot more about a company that I personally use. Again, I only talk about companies here on the channel that I personally use. And I do believe life insurance is a massive racket and a scam. So check out Crowd Health. Again, they have been spotted on lots of other Bitcoin-only YouTube channels. They have a great product. Again, if you do want life insurance, I think you should probably talk to the guys at Crowd Health and not some of the other scammers in the space. You're going to learn more about Crowd Health in the future, but let's talk a little bit more about what is going on with Ray, okay? Because we can see here, Ray has finally capitulated on Bitcoin. Finally capitulated on Bitcoin. I find it fascinating because he's really dragged his heels. But recently, the direct quote, as you can see here, he said, steer away from debt assets like bonds and debt. He said, stay away from that. And he finally endorsed Bitcoin. He said, have some hard money like gold and Bitcoin. And he said, have a look at this. Again, this is why I love to see the backflips in Bitcoin and just how quickly these guys change their tunes. I've highlighted it. Dalio previously believed cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin would never succeed in the way people hoped they would. But now he has emerged as a major Bitcoin supporter. Previously, he said he would choose gold over Bitcoin, highlighting the importance of diversification. You know what? Speaking of diversification, I want to show you guys another clip about diversification. Okay, and again, I'm going to play this from my buddy Rustin over at Simply Bitcoin. I love what the guys over at Simply Bitcoin are doing. And if you're not following them, you should be following them and supporting all other Bitcoin-only YouTubers. We are fighting an uphill battle over here on YouTube. We are inundated with the crypto scammers and the trading scammers swamping the content over here on YouTube with what I believe is trash, personally. Again, so support other Bitcoin-only YouTubers. There's not many of us, okay? It's not a very lucrative gig making Bitcoin-only content. Trust me, you can make a lot more money shilling shitcoins. That's a topic for another day, but Ray's talking about diversification. Ray, as we can see by this article, has always said, I would still choose gold over Bitcoin, highlighting the importance of diversification. Now, that's what I believe diversification is. I think diversification is a shitcoin. But don't listen to me. Again, don't listen to the opinion of a crazy 27-year-old Australian gringo with a shitty haircut. Nothing you hear from me should be considered financial advice. Nothing you hear on this channel should be considered financial advice. But let's listen to the words of a billionaire, someone with a proven track record, who's just grown his company from $1 billion in 2020 to $100 billion today. That's right, he's 100x his company. Let's listen to what Michael Saylor believes in diversification, okay? Because I think he has some pretty interesting insights on diversification. All right. All right, I don't know why, but we have no audio. I apologize about that, guys. I mean, this is what drives me nuts about YouTube. Okay, thanks for everyone blowing me up in the comments. I've got so many great moderators here looking after me. But again, Michael Saylor essentially said the quiet part out loud. Maybe they are censoring. My buddy Brandon from Green Candle says maybe they're censoring. Because again, we played you a snippet from that same video earlier in the stream and it worked perfectly. That's where that Ray Dalio montage came from, the same video. Interessante, as we say here in South America. Very interesting, very interesting. Luke needs an audio tech. Somebody apply for the role, okay? I am right now actually hiring an in-person manager who's going to be coming and living with me, traveling with me, doing all of the shit that I don't want to do. So, hey, if you do want to also be my audio tech, send me a message on Twitter, send me a message on Instagram. I am potentially hiring multiple people to travel with me to improve the quality of these YouTube streams and just help me pump out more content on YouTube. So again, if you want to apply, and if you can travel the world, and if you do want to work remotely, and if you do want to get your hands dirty, and if you don't mind working 7 days a week, that's right, I work 7 days a week, and anybody working with me will be doing the same thing. Message me. Pretty interesting, rare opportunity. So again, ping me a message on Twitter or Instagram, because I do need an audio tech. I need a producer of the show here. But Michael Saylor was essentially saying, why would you listen to somebody trying to sell you on diversification? Okay, think about this. If you're an NBA star, if you're 14 years old, if you're 6'6", if you're crushing basketball, you're even getting paid to play basketball at 14 or 15 years old. As a parent, why would you tell your kid to go and do some swimming and play some hockey and maybe a little bit of baseball, and maybe if you're super crazy, go and play some Australian football with me? Why would you tell that kid to diversify when it's very clear that he should go all in on becoming a basketball superstar? And in the video, Michael was making the point, why would you build an aeroplane with balsa wood and clay and aluminum and wood? Why would you do that? No, you build the plane with the goddamn best materials. You don't diversify. And it's the same thing with money. We have this warped perception over the past 50 years. Now, we've grown up in this environment where there has not been a clear, dominant, best place to put your money. So everybody has been propagandized and brainwashed with the idea that diversification is a great idea. And that's only because nobody understands money. They don't know what the best solution is. Oh, have a little bit of gold, have some money in tech stocks, have some money in this XYZ indice, get yourself some S&P 500 and some NASDAQ that's really diversified, then buy some bonds. Yeah, I mean, you should fund the government in dropping bombs on all sorts of innocent people in all sorts of different countries because, yeah, buy your government's bonds. You know, it's a great investment. You're going to get some hashtag yield, right? Oh, don't forget, buy some fiat money. Oh, you've got to have some money under the mattress. Keep some money in the bank, right? All of your advice is wrong, wrong, wrong. It's all BS. Any idiot who tells you to do any of what I just told you, they don't understand money. Because since 2008, we all of a sudden have a solution. Bitcoin is thousands of times better than any other option in the world. So Michael, in the clip that I tried to play you guys, was simply saying, why would you have a 2% allocation to Bitcoin. It makes no sense. The only thing that makes sense is being a Bitcoin maximalist. It's been the best performing asset for the past 16 years. I mean, the math doesn't lie. If you were 1% allocated to Bitcoin over the past 15 years, you're 1% right. The other 99% of your portfolio underperformed. You were 99% wrong. I told you this story in a stream earlier in the week. It took me 3 years to finally say, hang on a minute, diversification's a shitcoin. I only have a 20% allocation to Bitcoin. What am I doing? 3 years, 2017, 2018, 2019, I was a moron. I was wrong. I was 20% right with my 20% Bitcoin allocation, and I was 80% an idiot. I'm still an idiot, but from a portfolio allocation standpoint, I was 80% wrong. Okay? That's the problem with diversification. And I find it fascinating that now the world's largest hedge funds are getting off zero. And they're saying, okay, I was wrong to recommend a 0% Bitcoin allocation. Ray Dalio said for years, Bitcoin's a cool idea, but it's so good, the government's going to ban it. And he was a 0% allocation person. Now he's saying, oh yeah, small allocation kind of makes sense. And how long until that allocation rises? 10%, 20%. I have a really interesting in-depth video planned for you guys here this week, where we're going to be crunching some numbers, crunching some maths. Because a multi-trillion, that's right, multi-trillion dollar asset manager is openly saying the quiet parts on loud. They're saying the quiet parts out loud, sorry. They're going on national news and they're openly saying, if you don't have at least a 10% Bitcoin allocation, you are underperforming. Direct quote. It's crazy the world we're living in. If you think we're living in a crazy world, and if you're enjoying the stream today, there is 982 of you guys here between Twitter and YouTube. Let's smash the 1,000 live viewers and stimulate the like button down below if you are enjoying my rants here on a Sunday afternoon. Maybe I should do these streams without breakfast more often. I feel like I have more energy. We've got stimulate. We're not talking about big green candles today on the Bitcoin price chart. You know what? Let's check in on where we are, guys. Let's have a look on where we are on the Bitcoin price chart. Okay, we got 1,000 live viewers. Vamos. Welcome to everyone tuning in here on a Sunday. I promise I'm going to be talking about Ray Dalio more in a moment here and finish my thoughts on Ray and what exactly is going on. But have a look at that chart. Things are looking pretty green. What's happened since the German government sold their Bitcoin? Oof. Bitcoin's doubled. The German government's squatting on a $2 to $3 billion loss. Dumbasses. Honestly, people, pardon my French. Yeah, I should be pardoning my French. I apologize. I apologize, guys. My man here in the chat, who has a name that I shall not attempt to pronounce, puts it well. Bitcoin is a black hole. It will suck everyone in. We are incredibly early. Incredibly early. Our man here, McLovin, long-time supporter of the channel, member of the channel too. Speaking of channel memberships, monthly and potentially weekly member-only live streams are finally happening. First one could be a Christmas rip where I get together with the members of the channel. We're going to be doing some live streams because, again, as you guys can see from the comment section on YouTube, oh my goodness, I'm scrolling right now and it's just impossible. It's impossible to answer all of your questions. So you're going to be doing some members-only live streams. I know there's a lot of members here in the chat. Let me jump on over to YouTube and see who are members. I know McLovin definitely is. He was one of the first. But again, so if you're interested in long members-only live streams and you got some questions that you want me to tackle for 5 or 10 minutes, like I can't on these live streams that are supposed to be short and sweet, become a member. There's going to be lots more perks in the future here. My man, Green Candle, thank you. You know, you guys mentioned that promo code for Crowd Health was Green Candle. That is because, I don't know if you guys know or not, I've done multiple live streams over on my buddy's channel. Brandon, who is the creator of Green Candle, we have recently joined forces. So I am a part of the Green Candle media company. So look out. We got a lot of big things planned. A little bit of an official announcement here on the live stream. You guys should definitely be subscribed to what Brandon is doing. Definitely be subscribed. You're not only going to see my Australian accent in a couple live streams from time to time, but he's producing a ton of great content himself. Satwise, welcome, my friend. Welcome to the community of crazies. That's what I'm going to call it, the community of crazies. This is another great comment. The Canadian dollar, the euro, which is what I'm going to have to buy later today, the Great British pound, the Australian dollar, they're all collapsing into the US dollar. This is what Michael Saylor says a lot. All of the fiat currencies around the world are collapsing into the US dollar, and all of the property in the world is collapsing into Bitcoin. That's how I see the next 5 or 10 years unfolding. The US dollar becoming incredibly strong and countries all around the world having to adopt the US dollar, and then Bitcoin being the black hole that sucks in all of the property. So the $300 trillion property market, $200 to $300 trillion debt market, the $100 trillion of fiat, that's all going to collapse into the dollar. I apologize for the sniffles. I'm sick here. As crook as a dog. But that doesn't stop the live streams. So I think Dalio was just the first billionaire who's going to have to FOMO into Bitcoin. I think the next 6 to 12 months, guys, is going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be pretty big. Keeping an eye on what is happening in these huge, enormous markets is something I always like to cover here on the channel. I try to do it in a brief, relatively quick format here on the live streams, breaking down topics that I think matter a lot in a lot more detail. Again, Bridgewater Associates, as we can see from Wikipedia, they're squatting on a $190 billion war chest. Okay, they have a lot of money. They're squatting on a lot of money. I think we need to be watching what Bridgewater is doing because Ray is an incredibly influential man. And now that he's actively recommending a Bitcoin portfolio, I expect the FOMO to increase. I expect more Bitcoin FOMO to come. It's only a matter of time, which means you're going to want to have your Bitcoin allocation. If you're looking for somewhere to buy your Bitcoin, and if you are new to Bitcoin and you prefer to get your hand held through the buying journey, again, I always like to let you guys know about what Caleb and Brown is doing. They are a Bitcoin brokerage. They're not an exchange. They offer a unique service where you can get in touch with your personalized broker. You can ask them any questions on the phone that you might have about Bitcoin, and you'll get your hand held through the Bitcoin buying process. Again, there is a fee for this different service. I know it's not for everyone, but it is for some. So if that is you, you can check them out, link down below. And I always encourage you guys, doesn't matter where you buy your Bitcoin, whether it's an exchange, whether it's a brokerage platform that I'm partnered up with, I always encourage you guys to buy your Bitcoin at that location and then take self-custody of your Bitcoin. And once you do that, I always encourage you guys to check out what Stampseed is doing. Another great Bitcoin-only product that I endorse and I use personally. Again, I'm only going to recommend things that I use myself and I think have value. And as you can see, I'm always flying around the world with my Stampseeds. Okay, these are titanium plates that you can put your Bitcoin 12 or 24 words onto. And you can stamp these puppies into them with the kit that you do get from Stampseed. My man, All Night Hider, how good is he? Whenever I mention a video, he'll put a link to the video in the live chat for me. What a champ. He's put the link to Stampseed in the live chat for you guys. And again, you use promo code Luke15. That's going to get you 15% off anything you want to buy from Stampseed. Again, Christmas is coming. Buy yourself or your partner a Christmas gift that matters, and that is something from Stampseed. And if you do want to check out Caleb and Brown, there's a link also in the live chat. Thank you, All Night Hider. All Night Hider even gave instructions for you guys to join the members community on YouTube. What a champion. The button is a join button. You'll find it down below somewhere on my channel. I don't know. Well, that said, guys, it's 1,124 of you guys tuning in. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. 30-minute live stream. I'm sorry for the long one. I got fired up today talking about the pivots from Ray Dalio. I'm going to end this one here. I'm going to see you guys in another live stream, maybe in an hour or two after I've had some breakfast, on the bitcoinnews.com YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. And with all that said, I'm going to see you guys